A clarification by the Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman that came in on GST on your favorite popcorn and caramel popcorn that has sparked an outrage amongst the citizens, with many of them reacting with new memes. Now, the Finance Minister, during the last GST Council meeting, gave a clarification on GST rates on popcorn, saying that the ready-to-eat popcorn with salt and spices attracts 5% GST, while the same thing pre-packed and pre-labeled attracts 12% GST, as it is considered a namkeen. However, the same popcorn that is caramelized by adding sugar attracts 18% GST, as it becomes a sugar confectionery. Now, since the flavor and ingredients change, the character of the tax slabs also then thereafter change. Now, this has been as far as when it comes to reactions that have been coming in on social media, but this is when it comes to many of them have been expressing on what the GST Council has to state as far as when it comes to what is now been as one of the favorite snacks that the people consume, especially in theaters. But this is the GST Council explaining difference in tax rates between salted and caramel popcorn.
पॉपकॉर्न का ट्रीटमेंट में जब तक वो नमकीन है, सॉल्टेड है, मसाला एडेड है, चटपटा मसाला है, चिली पाउडर है, कुछ हो, सब 5%, am I right? 5%. But when it has added caramelized sugar, it is no longer namkeen. इसीलिए उसका रेट अलग है. पॉपकॉर्न का ट्रीटमेंट में जब तक वो नमकीन है, सॉल्टेड है, मसाला एडेड है, चटपटा मसाला है, चिली पाउडर है, कुछ हो, सब 5%, am I right? 5%. But when it has added caramelized sugar, it is no longer namkeen. इसीलिए उसका रेट अलग है.
So added sugar amounts to additional tax, as far as the economists who have criticized this decision, and the Congress party and other netas in the opposition have called GST as Gabbar Singh tax. And with the union budget less than 40 days away, the Congress is asking the government if it will launch GST 2.0.
Modi government is taxing each and everything for all the eatables. You have popcorn with salt at 5% GST. Popcorn which is packaged is 12% GST. Popcorn with caramel is 18% GST. So one popcorn is categorized in 3 stages and different tax is applicable. And how is it a simple tax? It's the most complicated tax designed to fleece the people, designed to loot the people. So it is the Gabbar Singh tax. The people of the country, and they will definitely teach Modi government a befitting lesson in coming days.
That's unfair. You see what happened. Our entire economy is in bad shape. We are not encouraging the export and service sectors. In the taxpayer, honest taxpayers are being taxed and taxed after taxed after. It's the highest slab here in our country, GST income tax. And that's one of the reasons that the wealthy people are leaving the country.
GST is not, it is against the federal principle, against the interest of the state governments. But anyway, government is doing whatever their power, and they are using it. Now the question, every day they are increasing GST tax. At least the common things which are used by poor people, common people, that those should be exempted from GST. But the government are reducing. New and new taxes and GST is being levied on different aspects, which are the common people use. And it is an extra burden on the common people. So we are against the increase of GST, and we demand that GST should be removed from food articles and other insurance and on many things.
Well, let's get an word from Pragya joining us. Good afternoon, Pragya. As far as reactions that have been coming in from the opposition questioning that how is it simple tax, but the clarification that came in from the council itself regarding the taxation that is now levied on popcorn, that does it amount that there would be no change in the existing rate?
Well, there is a procedure of deciding GST rates, Amita, and this is a fitment committee that decides on these rates. In fact, Nirmala Sitharaman, Finance Minister, also explained that the fitment committee decide, and when GST committee council in fact sits, there are people from all the states, all the finance ministers of every state are part of this GST council. And in fact, it is after a detailed discussion that these rates are announced. So, when Congress says that this is a Gabbar Singh tax, when Congress says that, it is also a sham, that government is saying this is a simplified tax, which it is not. Now, after the explanation on this popcorn came in, they also forget that Congress ruled state finance ministers, 2 were present in GST council, and the fitment committee where these finance ministers also hold power to discuss and also to prevail upon finance ministry, and also the GST council is also forgotten by the Congress, because Telangana is very much part of that GST council also. The finance minister must have come for the GST committee meeting. The Union Finance Minister, Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman, has specifically said that there is a very democratic setup when it comes to taxation in GST especially, because every state has its own demand. Now,
Right.
if they want something to have a reduced tax, they can always say that we won't apply in our state. So, this also, but they also want revenue. So they
So the
won't
questions
afford
that are being raised by the opposition should be self-explanatory to them as far as when it comes to the taxation that is now levied. However, there is a clarification that came in from the finance minister's side herself on this issue. Thank you very much for the moment, Pragya, for